Hey everybody, so it's almost fall. Fall, one of the most amazing times of year when it comes to books. So many amazing books coming out this fall that I am here to help you get your fall TBR set up and ready. So without further ado, let's get started. Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's Russell with Ink and Paper Blog. How are you all doing today? As always, I hope you're happy, I hope you're healthy, I hope you're safe, and of course I hope you're reading an amazing book or two or three or four. I am reading away, working away, traveling away, but I am here to share some books with you that are coming out in August and September that I need to make sure are on your TBR. So without further ado, let's get out our pen, our paper, our Goodreads, however you keep track of your TBR. Now these books are all coming out, so if you can and are able to pre-order them from your local independent bookstore, always helps the author, the bookstore, and the publisher. Or if you're a library user, get your library to get you a copy or pre-order them, get your name first on those lists so you can get them as fast as possible. Okay, so we're gonna start actually with my only fantasy sci-fi recommendation in this video. I literally could have had a whole video just of that, but the one I wanted to bring to your attention is Nnedi Okorafor's She Who Knows, out from DAW Books. This comes out on August 20th, 2024. This book is set in the world of her Who Fears Death novel. You do not have to have read it. This is a novella. This is the story of a young woman. Her name is Najeeba, N-A-J-E-E-B-A. She's about 13 when the book starts, and this is the story of we learn about her culture and her story that fits into a bigger story, right? In this world, salt has like this almost worshipped, it's like an economic, it's like money, but it's also got this sort of mythical value to it. And every year there's this call that goes out to call men to go on this journey on the salt roads to go and collect salt. And for the first time ever, Najeeba hears that call. She's the first female to ever hear it. And her family decides she can go on this journey. She can go with them on the salt roads, and she's so excited. She's she's riding the camels through the night and on this road in the clear air, but then things start to go horribly wrong. She starts to doubt whether or not she should have ever taken this journey and the effects it won't only have on her family, but maybe her people for all time. So that's Nnedi Okorafor's She Who Knows, out from DAW Books, and it comes out on August 20th, 2024. If you don't want to wait and you want to pick up Who Fears Death, not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. But we're gonna go and we're gonna switch gears there. We're gonna do some spy fiction. My next author actually needs no introduction because Rachel Kushner has written two novels that have gotten amazing acclaim. And this is her new novel, Creation Lake, out from Scribner. This book comes out on September 3rd, 2024. This is the story of Sadie Smith, or at least that's the name that she gives. She is a 34-year-old American woman who has been sent as a spy into the countryside of France to keep eyes on this group of young people who are sort of creating noise in the world. That's how I'm going to put it. She's sort of given her direction from intellectuals and governments and businesses and all of that sort of stuff. And she gets introduced to this man named Bruno Lacombe, Lacombe, my French is terrible, who is sort of like the spiritual mentor of this group of people she's infiltrated. And as she learns more about him and everything sort of becomes more fleshed out for her, the book says Sadie becomes entranced by a mysterious figure named Bruno, a mentor. Bruno believes that the path to emancipation from what ails modern life is not revolt, but a return to the ancient past. Just as she starts to think that she's the one sort of in control of everything, she realizes quickly that Bruno is seducing her with his his rhetoric, with his storytelling, and his own story and his own tragedy. And nothing is what she seems. So I think that sounds amazing. Rachel Kushner can tell a story, can she not? So that's Creation Lake by Rachel Kushner. This is out from Scribner and comes out on September 3rd, 2024. Next, for a bit of translated literature and one of my most anticipated books of 2024, that is Mina's Matchbox by Yoko Ogawa. This is translated from the Japanese by Snyder. I think he's translated almost everything that I've read by her in English. Maybe one book, I think. If you haven't read Yoko Ogawa, she's one of my favorite authors. And she writes such different books. I want to say thank you to Pantheon for sending me this one early, because it was I've started it already, as you probably know I would, because it's so exciting. There's a couple in this I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to read them. This is set in 1972. We have a young woman. She's about 12 years old. Her name is Tomoko. She is going to live in the countryside with her wealthy aunt and her German husband, German-Japanese husband. He runs a German soda pop company, and her family her father passed away from stomach cancer when she was very young, and her mother has been just trying to make ends meet, and she's going to move to Tokyo to go to school to become a dressmaker, and she can't afford to be there with her daughter as well, so her daughter's going to go to her aunt's and live in this rich family. She arrives, it's this mansion with all these rooms and houses. There's all this different family, from the matriarchal German grandmother to her aunt who is her own sort of person, but most importantly is Mina. Mina is her cousin. It says on the back that she's asthmatic, but she draws, which I'm feeling is going to have something to do. I think it probably has to do with the fact that Mina becomes such a storyteller. And it says that she draws Tomoko into a world of secrets and stories, and how this 1 year that Tomoko spends at this home changes everything. So I am really excited about this. I love Yoko Ogawa's The Memory Police is amazing. The Housekeeper and the Professor is amazing. Iris Hotel is really good. Revenge, if you like horror stories. I've only not read The Diving Pool, which I have on my shelf. Don't ask me why I haven't read it. I just haven't. But I'm a huge fan. So please pick up Mina's Matchbox by Yoko Ogawa. Again, translated from the Japanese by Snyder, out from Pantheon Books. And again, it comes out in August. I don't have an exact date, but August will be here before you know it. Okay, the book that's probably coming up the latest on this list, and again, one of my favorite authors. I've read everything that she has put out, and I just feel like Sally Rooney speaks to me. So Sally Rooney's new novel, Intermezzo, out from FSG here in the US, comes out on September 24th, 2024. I really shouldn't have to say anything else because Sally Rooney is a genius, but here you go. This is the story of two brothers who have just lost their father and are dealing with his death in different ways. Peter is a Dublin attorney. He is very sort of self-sufficient, has sort of figured out his way in the world. However, he has two very difficult relationships with two very different women. One is a woman that he sort of always has thought as the love of his life, the one he keeps going back to. And the other one is a young college woman who has sort of reinvigorated him in a lot of ways. And how does he sort of manage those two things? Our other character is Ivan. Ivan is a professional competitive chess player. And he's younger. He's 22. He's a good decade younger than his brother. And he's struggling with the death of his father and how to deal with it. And he meets Margaret, who's an older woman who comes with her own sort of trauma. And they sort of come together to try to figure out how to deal with the world together. The story, it's a story of, love. It's a story of relationships, it's a story of brothers. It's a story of dealing with grief. And I just trust no one more than I trust Sally Rooney to take me on a journey that will touch my heart in so many ways. So that's Intermezzo by Sally Rooney. This comes out on September 24th of 2024. Please, and if you haven't read any Sally Rooney, I just recommend picking up all of her books because I love her. I know she may not be for everybody, but she's definitely for me. The next book I want to tell you about, another book that I have been waiting for, is Small Rain by Garth Greenwell. This comes out on September 3rd, 2024. This is not the finished cover. This is the ARC cover. This is the story. This is a very different book for Garth. But this is the story of a poet whose life is turned upside down by a pain inside his body, an excruciating pain. I've actually already started this one, that no one can figure out where it's coming from or what's causing it, but it is like making him unable to really even get through life. He's just dealing with this pain. And it's weird for him because he's dealing with his body when, as a poet, he spends most of the time in his mind. And the book deals with the human experience when it comes to the value that we give life and the experiences we have. And how do you sort of reconcile everything that has come through you? The art, I like what it says here. It says art, memory, poetry, music are all thrown into sharp relief as time expands and contracts. I will say, if you haven't read a Garth Greenwell book, he is a dense writer. Don't be intimidated by the pages of text, because his writing is so poetic. It will just keep you in a rhythm and you'll be able to go on with it. But I am really excited to see what he does. This book will be very different than his first two novels that sort of had a connected feeling to them. So I'm really excited to see what this third book has. So Small Rain, Garth Greenwell, FSG, out on September 3rd, 2024. Last but not least is actually a book that I've already talked about on my channel, but I want to make sure everyone is pre-ordered, and that's There Are Rivers in the Sky by Elif Shafak, and this is out from Knopf. This comes out in August as well. I don't really need to speak of her. She is an amazing, prolific writer whose books have been nominated and won so many awards, and every book for her is also very, very different. This book starts, I've actually read the first part of this one from the point of view of a droplet of rain. It falls in the Mesopotamia, and we watch what happens to it. So good, so poetic, so powerful, so beautiful. We follow that droplet of rain to 3 different time periods. One is the Thames River, sort of during Victorian England, where we meet Arthur, who gains fame by translating these found cuneiform, and I know I'm saying that wrong, I'm sorry, tablets. Then we are into modern Turkey, where we meet a young woman who is going deaf and wants to do a last sort of journey with her grandmother, I believe, to the River Tigris to sort of connect with her heritage, and before everything is sort of lost to her as she loses her hearing. And then our other character is back on the Thames, where Arthur was, a modern day. She is a hydrologist. I don't know what that is. Cannot wait to find out. But her marriage is sort of on the rocks. It's coming to an end, and she moves into a houseboat on the river. And how will all of these stories come back to connect to one each other, all told from the point of view, or really brought to the point of view, of this droplet of water we meet in the first chapters, in the first pages. So that is There Are Rivers in the Sky by Elif Shafak, and this is out from Knopf here in the United States, out in August. I hope that all of these books wind up on your TBR. I know there may not all be what you would normally pick up, but I think every single one of these books has an amazing story to tell, and I hope you pick them up. As always, if you are a return subscriber, I could not do this without you. If you are new to my channel, thank you so much for coming. I hope you hit subscribe. All the bells and whistles helps me out here on my channel. And as always, until next time, I wish you happy reading, and of always, I'll see you next time. That was weird, but you know what I meant. Talk to you all later. Bye.